The battle over the state's new sanctuary city law headed to court. Coming up, what we're expecting from a lawsuit filed by several cities against the state of Texas. The Trump administration this week said it backs the Texas sanctuary city law, this as the measure heads to court tomorrow. The lawsuit by a growing number of Texas cities challenges Senate Bill 4, signed by the governor last month. Dallas State Representative Rafael Anchia believes the lawsuit will be successful.
We are making constitutional arguments against this bill. We're also saying that this bill was passed with impermissible purpose, which was to discriminate against Latino.
Joining us in studio this morning, immigration attorney Eric Cedillo. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
First of all, do you agree with Representative Anchia?
I really do. I think where this is in front of the particular judge, Judge Garcia down in San Antonio, he's recently ruled that that something similar with respect to the ICE detainer implementation was unconstitutional. So I think there's a very real probability that he will stop this measure, and it'll probably be left to the appellate courts to make a determination if it continues on.
You expect a ruling this week, then, some sort of stay of the law? That's
very possible. You know, they're going to hear it on Monday. Lots of people want to come in and give testimony, so we'll see how long the actual hearing lasts. But it's possible that we could get a result from the actual court at that level by next week.
And are we looking at a battle that could go all the way to the Supreme Court?
I really do.
And
think.
If so, what does that mean about, you know, the existing law and how long it lasts?
Yeah, based on the parties, I think it would go. If one wins and one loses, of course, we go to the Fifth Circuit. I think based on that determination, it would go on to the Supreme Court. It could take months before we actually get to the Supreme Court. Of course, as you know, they're about to start their recess soon, so they won't be back until October. And then, you know, if we even get in on that writ of cert, if they grant the writ of cert at that point, then this could be months before we get resolution.
The Attorney General preemptively asked for an opinion on the constitutionality of this law. Where does this affect the whole process?
Well, it was the same thing. When he initially filed the lawsuit, same questions are involved. He asked for a declaratory judgment, which is what basically what this lawsuit's all about down in San Antonio. The same things were happening in the Austin case that the state of Texas had filed. So we're dealing with the same issues. We're going to make a determination of whether or not this is constitutional on a number of levels.
Set all the legal arguments aside, from a practical standpoint, something that all Texas can understand. What's wrong with this law?
Oh, there's a whole lot wrong with it, in my opinion. You know, quite honestly, as we know, there's a lot of local officials, certainly police chiefs, sheriffs, who find this law to be abhorrent to the responsibility that we have to take care of our citizenry. And that's the real problem. In Houston alone, we've seen a 43% reduction in the name or in the request for or the designation of people being raped and things of that nature. So it's a situation where we already see that suppression happening. So this bill goes a long way in scaring people into situations they shouldn't be in.
All right, well, thank you so much for joining us again. That hearing tomorrow. Thanks for joining us today. We'll see you next Sunday. Meet the Press is next.